Hey, what's up? Hello, all lash lovers. My name is Julia Mann, and I'm the owner and founder of Lash Tribe. We help create successful and fully booked lash artists all over the world with the help of our online and in-person training. And it's been a hot minute. If you are watching this on our YouTube channel, you can see by the length of my hair just how long it has been since I recorded our last podcast. But this is actually giving me the idea of today's episode of the Lash Tribe Show, where I really want to speak about boredom, overwhelm, how to get stuck in a rut and how to get out of it and break free. And I really want to take that this episode to really reflect on my own last year and a half, when COVID started, how everything happened, what's going on with Lash Tribe at the moment, and why I have not been around very much. Now, one of my coaches used to tell me, done is better than perfect. I repeat that, done is better than perfect. And that is so very true. And I used to always live by that rule that I just, whatever I started, I finished it, no matter if I felt like it was perfect, because perfectionism leads to procrastination and then you're not going to get anything done. So up until maybe 2 years ago, just before COVID hit, I had no issues getting lots of work done and getting lots of episodes up, doing lots of training courses. And then for some reason, and I think it has a lot to do with the way that the last year and a half have been going, I started to really slack off. And this is not just within the podcast, that is also creating new training courses, that is holding in-person training, not as many students anymore, and has a lot to do with not being in the group as much either. So I don't really want to say that I've gotten too comfortable with how everything was going, but I feel like when you're doing for something so long, and I mean, I've been doing lashes since 2010, coming on 12 years now, there's a certain stage in your life where you just get a little bit bored doing something for so long. And especially with being an entrepreneur. And if you are listening to this, the chances are pretty high that you also have your own business, that you are an entrepreneur in your own right, and you get bored easily. You have shiny object syndrome, and you always feel like you need to be on the go, on the go, on the go. And a year and a half ago, when COVID hit, I was in panic mode and I was creating a brand new course. I made quite a lot of money, which it wasn't really about that then, but it just goes to show that the actions that I was taking, trying to help people throughout COVID, getting in contact with the customers and still making money whilst they were in lockdown, it goes to show that the action that I took, being really motivated and being really inspired and feeling kind of the need to do something for everyone, including myself, really made me achieve something, right? And now for the last year and a half, it's just been like trickling a little bit, it's not flowing, it's not dripping, but it's like, what is the in between? It's not a river of flow. It's like little barriers in between that don't allow me to fully be myself and fully create what I want to create. And I wanted to talk about that in this episode, about the just boredom, overwhelm, procrastination, and how I finally managed to get out of it. And this is the start of it. This is me creating another podcast again. But first of all, I want to talk about the need to always want to do something and sometimes not even getting started because of that. When I have ideas, I usually write them down and then I just forget about them for some reason. The number one thing that I would recommend everyone to do is, if you have too many ideas, write them down, still write them down. Obviously, keep them somewhere safe, write them in a nice notebook or on your computer. And then each day you need to try and implement at least one of those things, whether it's something that might take you, I don't know, half an hour to do, or it might be a project that you need to work on for a couple of weeks, but work on it a little bit every day. Don't add to the to-do list, because once you are there and you're sitting in front of your list, you will feel so much overwhelmed that you don't even get started. I actually got really sidetracked by a lot of my competitors and different companies that were offering similar things. And I felt, oh my God, I need to do this and that to fit in with everyone else. Instead of really focusing on what I felt I needed to do in that moment and what I've been doing for the last 10 years, offering value, creating content. But I felt like I was just sidetracked. Everyone had so much time, including myself. I wasn't able to work for quite a while because borders were shut, salons were closed down. Our e-commerce went from like 100% to maybe 30% when most of the world basically shut down. And so I had a lot of time on my hand. I was doing a lot of research on other companies, market research. It's an important thing, but you can overdo your market research as well and get just completely overwhelmed and get that kind of envious feeling almost as well, where you feel I'm not good enough, having that imposter syndrome and going, well, everyone else is doing better than me. So my tip for that is to actually looking back at what you have achieved so far and taking stock of that and realizing what you have done for the past year has brought you to this and this level. What you have done for the last 10 years has brought you to this level. Even what you have done for the last 2 days has brought you to another stage in your life or in your business. And really realizing that you are taking action, maybe sometimes not as much as you would hope, because again, we are entrepreneurs. Our brains are always busy. We always want to overachieve. We always want to make things perfect. We want to create and sell and make people happy. We have to realize that not everyone thinks that way. We are a very, very special species. Yeah. The normal type of person, and I'm putting this into like air notes right now, a normal person may not have these huge dreams or these huge goals, and they're completely fine and content with what they have. And that is great. Like sometimes I wished that I was happy with minimal things, but you are listening to this, so you are the top 1% as well of people that need to always have more. And if you get overwhelmed, you shut down. We completely shut down, and sometimes we don't even get started with anything. This was a really long foreword. So let's get into the nitty-gritty of how we can overcome this overwhelm and boredom, how to get away from it and how to break free. My number one tip is to stop looking at what other people are doing and really analyzing your own company or your business. Whatever you are planning on doing, have a look if it is something that you have already done in the past, but you need to just tweak it and fix it in order to get a better return on investment. An example comes to mind. You may want to upgrade your price list, but you just haven't gotten to it. So you keep charging the same price, even though for the last 2 or 3 years, you really needed to create something to fix, maybe make it $2, $3, $5, $10 more per treatment, and you just haven't gotten around to it. So instead of creating new treatments, trying to get more clients with more marketing, what I would recommend you do, and this is what I'm doing right now, is to look into your business and dive deep into what you already have and try and fix the things you already have without creating anything new. And again, you've got to realize that done is better than perfect. I have to currently create a brand new shop. Well, I'm partially helping because I'm creating a lot of the imagery, because I'm doing the photos here in the academy for all the products and for training. But a lot of the tech stuff I can also do. But one thing that is really, really important is to write down a to-do list, like I said before, of maybe 1 to 3 things that you need to get done every day. Instead of having this full list in front of you, which you will never even get started because it just looks like way too much. There's this great saying in sales, which is a confused mind never buys. It is the same with an overwhelmed mind never starts. And if I have too much to do, I won't get started. This is why in the past week, I have created myself small tasks to do every day. I still have my downtime in between. Downtime is so important. Instead of just working yourself to the bone for a full day, having that downtime, I love to have my coffee, sit and do some social media posting, which I really enjoy. It's not like sitting down and checking emails or anything like that. I might even just go in and watch a video that is on YouTube for marketing or sales or something like that, just to feed my mind, to keep my mindset in the right space. When I mean downtime, I don't personally refer to lying on the couch and watching Netflix, although I love doing that as well, but I mainly do that at night. But really what it means is to keep consistency in your mind, to have that right mindset to continuously work on what you need to achieve. Mindset is the number one in business. If you don't have the right mindset, you will not get started. Yeah. Mindset is such a broad term, and I've kind of done quite a few videos on that. So we're going to link some videos or podcasts that I've done about mindset in the show notes as well, on the YouTube video or Facebook, wherever you're watching or listening in. I don't want to dive too deep into it, but if your mindset isn't 100% aligned with yourself, obviously, with your inner self, with your being of how you feel, you will not do anything either, because you don't know what you are doing it for. So that's another point, is you need to know why you're doing what you're doing. Why are you checking these emails today? Why are you creating the content today? Why are you recording a video today? Where are you going to use it? Set yourself deadlines. Like, deadlines really, really help. I always tell my team, and we have a new video editor now as well. And I said to him, I want to hire you regularly for 20 hours a week, because that means I will have to create your content and I have to send you videos regularly. So I'm kind of tricking my own mind, my own procrastination mind, to do the doing, because if I don't do it, I'm going to pay him regardless. Yeah, this is another tip that I want to give you. So number one is the mindset. Number two is to actually implement the things that you're thinking of doing. Yeah. And number three is being consistent with it every single day or week, depending on the task that you have on hand. When I think back, what was really holding me back was me feeling very imposter syndrome over the last year and a half, just because I've had too much time on my hand to research other companies. But then again, marketing is always good and well. If someone is really clever at their marketing, they may seem very busy. They might have hundreds of comments on their ads, for example, but that doesn't mean they're making an income. Yeah, I have spoken to so many girls in the industry with big salons, big training academies. Every single person has slowed down throughout COVID. It is completely normal, unless you are illegally working, which I hope you're not. You would have been slowed down in some way, shape, or form. So if you see salons that online seem like they're very busy, think again, they might not be. Again, everyone is trying to keep up appearances throughout this time. We don't want to show weaknesses. And I think this is another reason why I'm doing this podcast, because I want to kind of get rid of that stigma that everyone has to be perfect and glamorous and super, super busy online, when in real life, everyone is going through so much struggle at the moment. Still, people that I know have shut down their businesses. People that I know have shut down their training academies. The biggest companies that we have in Australia in training and products as well, they are not as busy as they used to be, even though they have really great brand names, including my own. Yeah, we're not as busy anymore. And I think this is where I really felt into this whole thinking of, I'm not good enough. Everyone else is busier than me. I don't want to waste my money on advertising. I feel like I don't want to do anything. I just want to have time with my family, which is great, of course, as well. I just want to drink coffee every day and sit there with my laptop and just watch videos and learn things instead of implementing things. This is something that a lot of people have been doing, obviously, throughout this time, because we had so much time on our hand. We were watching a lot of content. There was a lot of online courses being created. There was a lot of bad online courses being created, and maybe even some good online courses being created. Another thing that really stopped me to think, sit down and do some analytical thinking and some thinking in the way that would help me push my business forward. Instead of being in the freak out mode, always trying to put out fires, what I really needed to do, which I'm starting to do now, is to rethink and come up with fresh ideas and really think about my target market. How can I best help the people that I serve? Because if I make it about them, nothing else really matters. As long as I'm trying to help people, everything always comes together somehow. So if you are in the same situation, if you are a trainer, you have online courses or in-person training, if you don't have anyone coming in, of course, you have to advertise somehow, but really think back of why you started with your training, why you are doing lashes, why you are doing what you are doing, and go back to the very start of it. What made you really excited about it? And where along the way do you think you have kind of lost that passion, that excitement? In my case, of course, it is doing lashes for so long, repeating the same thing over and over again. So something that I'm going to do now is go back into my slides, for example, and change things up. I'm creating new little mini courses out of the big courses that we have, not just to keep myself busy and actually do some work, but to offer more value to a wider variety of people that may not have the money to buy an extreme online course. Like we have online courses that are up to $1,500, $1,600, depending on what it is, and creating these little entry-level prices. So reevaluate your business where you are at. Only work on the areas that need fixing. Don't create anything new unless you have something created already and you can put it into little bits and pieces. Like, for example, you have a huge package which you usually sell. It might be lashes, tanning, nails, hair, if you have a salon like that, but then breaking it down into smaller pieces. If you are a training academy, you might have a full 3-day training course. Break it down into little refresher courses, for example. Yeah. So don't come up with all these new concepts unless you are already working or you have worked on fixing the issues that prevent you from having a better return in your business right now. And once again, it is about the mindset, it is about the implementation, and then it's about the consistency. And I just want to leave you with that you will never feel content. If you are an entrepreneur, that's just the way it is. Again, we have big dreams, we have big passions, we have so much more drive than the normal people, which have it a lot easier at times because their mind is not ticking constantly and trying to figure out new ways. You know, running your own business is difficult. So if you feel like you're never content, I just want you to know that it is completely normal. Take your downtime, watch some videos, do your mindset exercises. Journaling in the morning really helps. Writing down what you're grateful for, writing down where you want to be as if it has already happened. Again, there's a lot of podcasts that I've done about this already. And just really taking care of yourself and writing down those few steps every day that you should be taking, and always remembering why you started in the first place. Take care, everyone, and I will see you all on the next episode. Bye.